Everyone says your 50s are peak earning years. The data just proved that's a lie. And what it reveals about the American dream? Honestly terrifying. Look, I'm about to show you the real numbers on what Americans earn at every age, from teens to retirement. And spoiler alert, the age group making the most money isn't who you think. In fact, when you see where earnings actually peak and then fall off a cliff, you're going to understand why our parents' financial advice doesn't work anymore. You're watching M Cubed, Money Mindset Makeover. This isn't just a channel, it's a mindset revolution. Subscribe to elevate your money mindset, elevate your life. Learn how to break free from the cycle of debt and build a secure financial future, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. Let's dive in. Here's what nobody told you. The Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks median income for 7 different age groups. And before we go further, yes, median, not average. Because when Jeff Bezos walks into a bar, the average income in that room becomes $1 billion. But the median stays real. Smart, right? So in 2024, the typical full-time worker in America, out of 120 million people grinding every day, made $1,192 per week. That's about $62,000 a year before Uncle Sam takes his cut. That's your baseline. Your North Star. Your am I winning or losing this money game number. But here's where it gets interesting. That number changes dramatically depending on how old you are. And the pattern? It's going to make you rethink everything you thought about career progression and wealth building. The starting line. Ages 16 to 19. Let's start at the bottom. If you're 16 to 19, you're pulling in about $679 a week, or $35,000 a year. Not shocking. Most teenagers are flipping burgers, folding clothes at the mall, or babysitting the neighbor's demon children while trying to figure out if college is worth 6 figures of debt. But here's what matters. This isn't about the money yet. It's about the reps. You're learning to show up on time, deal with Karen customers who want to speak to your manager, and not spend your entire paycheck at Taco Bell the day you get it. These are the financial training wheels most people rip off too early and then crash spectacularly in their 20s. The skills you build here, punctuality, teamwork, not telling your boss exactly what you think of them, these translate into dollars later. So if you're in this bracket, don't just chase the highest hourly rate. Chase the experience that compounds. The struggle years, ages 20 to 24. Welcome to the Hunger Games of adulthood. At 20 to 24, you're making about $784 per week or $41,000 a year. This is where reality slaps you in the face with a wet student loan bill. You're either putting that expensive degree to work, finishing up some training program, or bouncing between random jobs trying to figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. And that's okay. This is the exploration phase, except exploration costs money, and you're broke. Here's the truth bomb. Earnings rise throughout your 20s, but early on, you're getting paid in experience and LinkedIn connections, not cash. You're the intern, the assistant, the junior, whatever. You're getting your foot in doors that barely crack open. But this is also the most dangerous financial period of your life, because you're finally making real money, except it's not enough to cover real life. Rent is eating 40% of your paycheck. Your car is one weird noise away from dying, and your student loans are in the grace period countdown like a financial time bomb. Smart move number 1 for this age. Start an emergency fund, even if it's just $20 a paycheck. I don't care if it feels impossible. Broke is expensive. 1 car repair, 1 medical bill, 1 surprise expense sends you to credit cards, and those 24% interest rates will hunt you for years. Smart move number 2. Don't lifestyle creep before your career even starts. Just because you can finance a luxury apartment doesn't mean you should. Live like you're still broke for 2 more years and bank the difference. Future you will worship past you. The climb. Ages 25-34. Now we're talking. At 25 to 34, median salary jumps to $1,000 per week, about $59,000 a year. That's a solid $18,000 more than your early 20s. Finally feels like you're getting somewhere, right? By now, you've got several years under your belt. You've switched jobs for raises, because loyalty is dead and companies know it. Maybe you've earned certifications, finished grad school, or learned skills that actually pay. Some of you wild ones even started businesses. This is when financial stability starts becoming real, not just a fantasy you tell yourself while eating ramen. You're thinking about mortgages, aggressively paying off student loans, and actually contributing to that 401k your company keeps emailing you about. But here's the catch. This is also when income inequality explodes. If you're in tech, finance, or healthcare, you might be clearing six figures. If you're in service, education, or creative fields, you're still fighting for scraps. Same age, same work ethic, wildly different outcomes. Smart move number 3. Negotiate everything in your late 20s and early 30s. Your salary, your benefits, your remote work policy, your equity. Companies are betting you won't ask. Prove them wrong. One successful negotiation can be worth $5,000 to $10,000 a year, money that compounds over decades. Smart move number 4, start investing even if it's terrifying. Open a Roth IRA. Contribute to your 401k at least up to the company match. That's literally free money. Time is your biggest asset right now, and compound interest is the only thing more powerful than your anxiety about the stock market. The peak. Ages 35 to 44. Here's where it gets spicy. At 35 to 44, you're hitting 356 per week, roughly $71,000 a year. This is theoretically your prime earning years. Your senior level, maybe managing teams, leveraging a decade plus of experience. But plot twist, this is also peak financial stress. You've got the biggest mortgage, car payments, kids draining your bank account like tiny financial vampires, and every expense life can throw at you happening simultaneously. You're making the most money you've ever made, and somehow you're still living paycheck to paycheck. How? Because lifestyle inflation is real, and it's vicious. That raise you got? Already absorbed by the bigger house, the better car, the private school tuition, the family vacation you deserve. Smart move number 5. Audit your life expenses like you're the IRS. Where is your money actually going? Track every dollar for 1 month. You'll be shocked. The $15 subscriptions you forgot about, the food delivery bleeding you dry, the small purchases adding up to thousands. Now here's where the data gets weird. The decline. Ages 45-54. Wait for it. At 45 to 54, median income drops to $1,036 per week, about $69,000 a year. That's less than the previous age group. Read that again. You get older, more experienced, more valuable, and earn less. What's happening? Fewer promotions. People choosing less stressful jobs as they approach 50. Some folks getting pushed out by younger, cheaper workers. Others prioritizing work-life balance over climbing higher. And honestly, by this point, if you've played your cards right, you need less. The house is mostly paid off, kids are aging out of expenses, and you're focusing more on retirement savings than career climbing. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you haven't built wealth by now, through investments, home equity, retirement accounts, you're in trouble, because your earning power is about to fall off a cliff. The reality? Ages 55 to 64. At 55 to 64, you're down to $1,069 per week or $66,000 a year. And the number of workers in this bracket starts shrinking because people are transitioning out. Some are cutting back hours. Others are taking less stressful positions that pay less. Many are eligible for Social Security at 62, and some jump on it, even though taking it early means smaller checks for life. Sometimes it's by choice. Sometimes it's because their body or mind can't handle the grind anymore. This is semi-retirement for many. And if you haven't been investing, saving, and building passive income streams for the last 30 years, these are going to be tight, stressful years. The final stage, 65 plus. At 65 and older, full-time workers make about $1,159 per week or $60,000 a year. But here's the thing. Most people in this age group aren't working full-time. They're retired or semi-retired, living on Social Security, pensions, if they're lucky, and whatever they manage to save. Still, there are over 11 million people over 65 still in the workforce. Some because they need the money, others because they love the structure and engagement, and some because they didn't save enough and now they can't retire. That's the part that should terrify you. Let's zoom out for a second, because here's the real problem hiding in these numbers. You're told to go to school, get a good job, work hard, move to Florida, get Velcro shoes, and you'll be fine. The American dream, right? Except the data just showed you that even if you do everything right, your peak earning years last maybe a decade, from your mid-30s to mid-40s, and then it's downhill. And in those peak years, you're buried under mortgage debt, Student loans, car payments, childcare costs, and everything else capitalism can sell you. You're making more than ever and still broke. You're not lazy. You're not bad with money. You're exhausted. And the system profits off your burnout. Have you or someone you know ever struggled keeping a budget while trying to survive these income plateaus? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else avoid losing their hard-earned cash. Meanwhile, you're watching influencers flex fake wealth on Instagram. Your parents are asking why you haven't bought a house yet. Boomers bought theirs for $60,000. We're looking at $400,000 starter homes. And every financial guru is selling you a course on how to make six figures from your couch. The shame is real. The frustration is valid. And the old playbook doesn't work anymore. But here's where everything flips. Your income, that number on your paycheck, is just one variable in the wealth equation. It's not even the most important one. What matters more? How much you keep, how much you invest, how much passive income you're building, how fast your net worth is growing. Because here's the secret they don't teach in school. Becoming rich isn't about earning more. It's about building systems that work while you sleep. That person making $71,000 at 40 but investing 20% and living on $50,000, they're going to retire wealthier than the person making $150,000 but spending $155,000 on a lifestyle they can't afford. The goal isn't to climb the income ladder and pray you don't fall off. The goal is to build so many income streams that if one fails, you're still standing. Side hustles, freelancing, investing in index funds, real estate, dividend stocks, digital products. Whatever fits your skills and risk tolerance. This is where broke ends and ownership begins. You're not just a worker trading time for money anymore. You're an investor, a builder, someone who understands that every dollar you earn has a job, whether it's growing in an index fund, paying down high-interest debt, or building an emergency fund that lets you say no to jobs and situations that don't serve you. So where does this leave you? If you're in your 20s making $41,000, you're not behind. You're exactly where the data says you should be. But that doesn't mean you stay there. Use this decade to build skills, switch jobs for raises, and start investing even if it's just $50 a month. If you're in your 30s hitting that $59,000 to $71,000 range, this is your window. Don't blow it on lifestyle inflation. Invest aggressively. Build multiple income streams. Make your money work harder than you do. And if you're beyond that, in your 40s, 50s, or beyond, it's not too late. But the strategy changes. Now it's about preservation, smart investing, and maximizing what you've built. The numbers don't lie. Your peak earning years are shorter than you think. But your wealth building years? Those can last your entire life if you start treating money like a tool, not just a paycheck. Be sure to stick around for the next video. 3 ways to become a billionaire. This will piggyback the one you just watched well, and be a blessing in your life. I know it. M Cubed fam.